system. 181, God Islam. The Zionist God is the God of Muhammad. They reject Judaism. Are you not the chosen people? It is Ishmael, not Isaac, who is the son chosen by God. And they reject Jesus, Christian, as chosen. It is Muhammad who is the chosen. Jesus was a prophet, but he was no God or Messiah. Moses also was a prophet according to them. But Muhammad is the greatest prophet of all. God has no son. We still today we have racism today. 182, Confucianism, Confucian view. Well, then later you have New Confucianism, and 100 years ago, China rejected Confucianism, and New Confucianism was not longer the official religion of China. Became Marxist, following Marx, a communist country. 183, Greek religion, polytheism, many anthropomorphic gods. 184, God. Zeus is the chief god. Did he have a wife and children? He had Zeus was the chief god, and he had a wife and children, Apollo and others. But I don't think like also the wife of Athena and the son Apollo, etc. 184, you also had Taoism. You can access Taoism. 2013. This is a lot. I think I even have much more somewhere else, but I didn't put them here. Although I stopped after a while. 185, Jewish, Judeo-Christian. God is love. 186, God is light. 187, Judeo-Christian, God is spirit. 188, Judeo-Christian, God is an all-consuming fire. 189, Judeo-Christian, God is a creator and ruler. Providence, but domination. Dominant idea is that God is a redeemer or savior. 190, God cannot know consistency of the system of mathematics if Gödel is right. 119, God cannot know completeness of the system of mathematics if Gödel is right. 192, God only knows himself if Aristotle and Maimonides are right. Unless there is freedom, they argued that there was no freedom. 193, God knows he exists if Descartes is right. 194, God does not know our universe using perception of if Kant is right. It is pneumona. 195, Zionist God does not know any universe since it is not given like our universe a posteriori, nor can anything be proven to exist a priori. Hence it cannot be known if Kant is right. Also if Wittgenstein is right. 196, Zionist God does not know himself if Kant is right against Descartes, since we can't prove that we are substance even in the same person over time, that he himself exists. 197, God, maybe it is not an error to identify the subject and the universal ground of all things in him. God unique, so no paralogism results for him. 198. It's another God. He does not know if he is free or not. Kant is right. 195, 199. Down to God. He doesn't know if he is immortal or not, if Kant is right. Well, that sounds a principle of metaphysics. 200. Down to God. God cannot know himself since he questions result in paralogisms by confusing himself, his subject, and universal subject, if Kant is right. That's 200. But God is unlike us, really. This page 14. This is like around 2009, 2010. November 16, 2009. Revolution 201. Leonardo Super God. He is the supreme benefactor of the universe. Now 202. Super God. He is the supreme beneficiary of the universe, necessary but dependent. Number 203. Dante Super God. Dante. God is three colors of light wrapped around each other. Is that the Trinity or Christian God? Dante called Aristotle the master of those we know. July, I think he wrote the Divine Comedy. 204, July 16, 2010. Dante Super God, Beaton, that's me. Watson and Crick DNA. May God and Goddess like the double helix of the DNA molecule with two strands connected by bonds on the stretch out. DNA is the most complex molecule. Strands can divide or else have triple helix for the Christian God with three strands connected by bonds as they stretch out. Strands can divide, and God, Son, and Holy Spirit, all those female Messiah, question mark. 205. Down to Super God. Jesus said, he who has seen me has seen the Father. So can take it that greatest man is in the image of, according to Christians. 206. Xanadu Super God. Repeat question mark. Greatest man or greatest woman also is God, since we are immortal, or she's a goddess. So even if there is no ideal God, then there is a God, since one of us is God, or even God, if we evolve to perfection forever. From October 4, 2010. 207. God is the biggest intellect in the world. So far we collected 1,200 methods and 700 sources of axioms. Reasoning requires premises to begin or add later in reasoning, and inferences to create new premises. Well, maybe now it's more like up to over 1,500 or 2,000 methods. Page 15, 208 definition. From November 23, 24, 2010. 208 definition. Xanadu Super God. God is the entity with unlimited will over nature. Nature is defined by the laws of nature. These are defined quite precisely by Einstein's physics and are very sophisticated mathematically. May have to add algorithmic control and laws between multiple bodies, etc. But if man has free will, then we need also to consider the laws of human nature. The laws of psychology and theology should be similar to the laws of physics. To follow Newton's model, or as Einstein said, Newton's law of gravity is praiseworthy Since given a current state of objects, it is possible to say where the objects will be at any time in the future using the equations of motion. Well, for Einstein, that was what science is. If you have a certain state of affairs, you can predict where it will be in the future. On Star Trek The Next Generation, one scientist says that she can predict what will happen on the star millions of years from now because of the equations. Engineering allows man to have power over nature and create long-lasting, fairly independent changes in nature. Well, Mary Einstein and many scientists were interested in studying nature, but really engineering is more interested in transforming nature. And now we know computers really started about the time Einstein died, but we know that just by reorganizing material, we can create computers which are really able to think, solve problems, make decisions, and which really was thought to be like more human-like, and that was thought to be more godlike. So we can change the nature of the universe, make it into a new universe by simply reorganizing it, and thus changing the laws of nature. This means that this universe has much more potential to become more like paradise.